Hi everyone. So this is an introduction to my winter course. It's called Number the Stars, and it is a book by Lewis Lowry. He is a very famous American author. He's written a ton of books. One of his most famous is The Giver, and this might be his second most famous book. It is very popular. For this particular winter session, I am recommending that this is for grades 5 through 7, and it has a Lexile of 670. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, that 670 is a little easy. Now, the text itself is slightly easier because we are going to be working on more of the historical information that is mentioned throughout the book. So here, I'll read you the little synopsis, the little summary of the book. See if you're interested. As German troops began their campaign to relocate all the Jews of Denmark, 10-year-old Anne-Marie Johansson's family takes in Anne-Marie's best friend, Ellen Rossen, and conceals her by pretending she's part of the family. Then, through Anne-Marie's eyes, readers watch as the Danish resistance smuggles almost the entire Jewish population of Denmark, nearly 7,000 people, across the sea to Sweden. So in this book, okay, in the book and in the class, we're clearly going to work on some literature aspects. So obviously reading and writing, both for literature and for information. So both nonfiction and fiction. Our fiction will be the actual book, Number the Stars, and then our nonfiction, our informational text, will be additional readings that I provide throughout the class. And they're coming from a multitude of websites, historychannel.com, Common Lit, ReadWorks, all really great resources for different types of literature. We're going to be recalling details, practicing our vocabulary skills, making predictions, and just the overall comprehension of our reading abilities. For the historical topics, which we'll spend a little bit more time in class focusing on, because throughout the book, Anne-Marie, the main character, she starts to pick up on lots of different things and activities that the Danish resistance was doing during this time period of the Nazi occupation. So obviously we have to talk about Denmark and Europe as a whole, the time period of the 1940s, World War II, specifically what is happening to Denmark when the Nazis do ultimately invade and then take control of the country for several years. The Danish resistance and how do they fight back? The Holocaust as a whole, so how does the Holocaust affect all of Europe? And then specifically, how do the Danes protect their neighbors, their Jewish neighbors, and how do they smuggle them out of the country and into Sweden? And really, why are they going to Sweden? Why not someplace else? So we look at all of these different parts to this time period, and really how do they affect the normal everyday person. So this class is going to be split into 10 different lessons, and what we have is, this is obviously a very basic breakdown and we really start with lesson 1, and it's just an introduction to, like, where is Denmark? Why should we care about Denmark? What's the time period? Who are the Nazis? What are they doing? What is their ultimate goal? So lesson 1 is really just kind of like an overview. Obviously, there's homework to prep for each lesson. And then once we get into the book, which is starting for lesson 2, all of the readings will be done for homework, okay? So you'll have to have, 2 chapters read before we meet for each lesson. So here we go. So it breaks it down into the different chapters. And then the final class is the last chapter, chapter 17, the afterword, which is the final portion of the book. And it really just kind of summarizes all of the history that the author has included, and really what happens to Denmark at the end of the war, at the end of World War II, like what happens to them. Okay. So let's see, each lesson will have a review of the time period, specific historical information being mentioned in the chapters. This review may be completed through the use of map skills, viewing historical videos to gain more understanding of the topic, and comprehension questions. Then a review of the chapter's information will be completed. This review will be completed through a review of unfamiliar or new vocabulary mentioned in the chapters, comprehension questions, both multiple choice and short response, along with reading skill questions. So if you are interested, obviously I have all the lesson plans and all the materials already prepped, just to give you a little taste, I guess we can call it. So if you were to try to do this class, the first class I would have already assigned a PDF called Denmark in the War, just to kind of give you a little background of what's going on in Denmark during this time period. We would check out some maps. This is Nazi occupation of Europe, okay? The Danes are wonderful, King Christian X, okay? And then throughout all of this, we have some matching, we have some multiple choice. It goes along with the readings that you will have already completed for homework. So it's just a mixture of different questions and activities. And then obviously, once we really start getting into the book, which would be for lesson 2, so you would have already read chapters 1 and 2 for homework. We have some vocab that we'll go over, our wonderful literature comprehension questions, and then here's our reading skills. So like sequencing, cause and effect, things like that, making predictions. And then we really get into whatever historical information or events that are going on during this time, Anna Marie mentions in each of the chapters. So after we do, all of our literature work, we get into what is she talking about? Like, who is King Christian X? Why is he so important? So here's like a video of him, different readings that we would work on, because reading fiction and reading nonfiction are very, very different. So it is always important to kind of know the difference and to see what you should be paying attention to if you're reading for fiction or if you're reading for nonfiction. Okay, so all of it is broken down into the chapters, and we work both with the literature and the historical information. All right, so if you are interested, let one of the administrators know, and I would love to work with you, and we can check out this really, really amazing book. It honestly is. It's won a ton of awards, and it is very, very popular, especially here in America, since part of every grade's curriculum here, what every grade has to do is we have to teach the Holocaust, which is a very, very both depressing and both really significant time period in history. And we need to see, how can we not let this happen again? So a lot of the times, especially here in the United States, we do this through historical literature just because it is a little bit more attention grabbing. We can get your interest in the topic and then give you all of the history along with it. So it doesn't feel like a normal history class. It is a little bit more enjoyable at times, especially with a topic as difficult and heavy as Nazi occupation and the relocation of the Jews and the Holocaust as a whole. So it is a really beautiful book. And if you are interested in that time period and really learning more about it and learning about it in a different way, let one of your admins know. And I am so excited for this class. All right. I hope to see you all soon, and have a great day. Bye, guys.